Hey everybody, we are going to be working on project or module 6, project 1B, and as I have it named, 6B in Blackboard. This one will not take long at all. It's pretty easy. I only had to look up one thing. So just a little tip for you as you're working through these projects, feel free to have Google open. And I think if you have a question like how to find duplicates, how it's even coming up, I had to look that up. But now I know how. So it's good. I have the instructions open on another sheet of paper. I mean, on another screen so you can't see it. But hopefully you have your instructions open while you go through this with me. I'm going to do this one and then you'll be on your own for the critical thinking project, but it's very similar to this, almost the same instructions. They just give you less guidance. But if you do well on this one, you should do well on the critical thinking. So the first instruction is to go to um, we have a couple here who collect musical instruments as a hobby, and they are organizing their collection in an Excel workbook. And Naomi wants your help updating and analyzing the data. If any of you have collections of things, DVDs or action figures, Excel is a really nice tool for keeping track of your inventory. So it says, first of all, to switch to the brass worksheet and unfreeze the top row. Currently, it's frozen, right? Now, I don't know why we would want to freeze this, nor do we even need to, because what we do is we usually freeze a row like this. Um, view, freeze panes. Uh, so that when we scroll up and down, well, I did it wrong, but when we scroll up and down, we can still see the column headings. But they want you to unfreeze. So I would just click the first row. This is currently frozen because it's still there as we scroll. So click on the first row and just do unfreeze panes, and that'll take care of that. See how it's not frozen anymore? And then we want to sort the data in the brass table first in descending order by purchase date, and then in descending order by the estimated value field. So here's the purchase date. So we do a purchase date first. We want to sort in descending order, which means the most recent year first, newest to oldest. Now, you can't do it this way. You could do that, right? Newest to oldest. And that works. But then it adds a second level of sorting, and that's by the estimated value date field. Again, largest to smallest. But what it does is it sorts this, but it kind of cancels this sort. So we're no longer in descending order here. So we don't want that. I'm going to just Control Z twice to get rid of that. What you need to do is click on the entire data that you want to sort and go ahead and include the column heading. We can tell it that this is the heading and not to sort it. If you don't do that, it'll put the word this row, I guess, down here after French horn. So highlight it all, including the heading, but not this. And go to data, sort. And then we're going to sort by, first they want to sort by purchase date. So we're going to sort by, and notice that it's checked, my data has headers. Sort by purchase date first. And we want it newest to oldest because it says descending order. And then we just click add level. And we, after it sorts for purchase date. So if some of these have the same purchase date, well, then how do we sort those? They want that sorted by estimated value field, the estimated value. And they want this also descending, so largest to smallest. So if we do that, we'll notice that purchase date is definitely the priority. See how it's going down in years, but when two occur on the same date, well, how do we sort that? By this, Notice this is bigger than that. So it put that first. And then these two dates are the same. So to tell it what to do, that first, then that, because descending order. So that's what they want there. That's the only way to do it. You just have to highlight it and go under data and sort. You can't use these little drop-down boxes if you have multiple level sorts. Number 3, insert a total row in the brass table and use it to calculate the total of the values in these two fields. All right, so it's pretty easy. We're in a Excel table. We know we're in an Excel table because when you're in here, when you're not in here, you don't see anything. But when you're in it, you see this extra menu called Table Design. And you just click Total Row. And it puts a total row there. And it went ahead and totaled those for you. And yeah, it's summing it, so that's good. But we also want a sum of these. So just select sum. And again, I always check the instructions. I'm scrolling down to the picture of it, and I just want to see that it's really 965 and 1945. It is. The color's a little different, isn't it, in the picture they give you? Mine's darker orange. I hope it won't mark off for that. I believe we are on step 4 now. She wants to highlight all the brass instruments that were bought on the same date. Apply a conditional formatting rule to E3 to E10. E3 to E10. So I wanted to highlight the duplicate dates. I don't know why. I guess we want to know if we bought more than one thing on the same day. I don't know. I have no idea why they want to do this. So conditional formatting is what we want for duplicate values. It says green fill with dark green text. All right. So that's under home, conditional formatting. The first thing I did was I couldn't see duplicated values here. So I just said, well, let's just do it from scratch. New rule. And I was able to see duplicate values here. But then for the formatting, I mean, I couldn't really figure out. You do it manually. It's not the best way to do it, and you're probably not going to get it right. So if you go under conditional formatting again and you do highlight cells rules, you can see here that they have duplicate values. This is the way you want to do it because you get the default styles of shading or whatever. And we want green fill with dark green text. So that's easy to pick from that list. And this is what it should look like. So now we can easily see that the trombone and the French horn were bought on the same day, and that the tuba and that trumpet were bought on the same day. We're on step 5 now. Switch to the percussion worksheet. This is not a table. I can tell because A, it's not pretty and colored like this, but also because when I'm in here, I don't see a menu that says table tools. I bet we're going to want to make this a table. Anyway, we're on number 5. Switch to the percussion worksheet. Freeze the first column of the worksheet. I would think they would, wait a minute. The first column, they want to freeze this. All right. Highlight it. View, freeze, first column. So when we scroll across, which we would not need to do since there's not that many columns, but as you scroll across, you still see that beautiful drum. Big deal. All right. Number 6, format the range B2 to G10, B2 to G10. Format this as an Excel table with headers. These will be my headers. Okay. And then want to pick a style. Okay, fine. For this, we're going to go under insert, believe it or not. I'm not really inserting anything, but that's where you go. Insert table. And it's confirming that that's what you want to make into the table. I think if you just select that and you still do insert table, it's going to think you want to do that, and then you got to edit it. So best just to highlight what you want to be the table, do insert table, and it'll assume that's what you want. Notice it says my table has headers. It does. The first row are the headers. So it will not include these in the data analysis. It's just the headers. So we click that. It's kind of gray, but they want it to be gold table style medium 12. Right? Gold medium 12. Undertake. Just click anywhere in here. If you're not there, you won't see it. We want gold. What was it? Gold medium 12. There's medium. Is this gold? That's tan. That's gold. Medium 5. Come on, pop up. Medium 19. That's medium 12. So this is the style we want. Enter percussion as the name of the table. Now, do not do this. Then don't type it here. This is for naming ranges, which I think we've done before. You can just be anywhere in the table. And if you're not on there already, go to table design. And under table name, you click and you just call it what? Percussion with a capital P. And you have to hit the enter key to make it take. So click away, click back in, wherever you are in here. It says the name of the table is percussion. Nice. Number 7, name a cable with a new snare drum. We want to include it on the percussion table, and they give you the data to enter. You're going to notice something neat when you enter a new instrument. It'll automatically expand the table to include that new row. And this is a snare drum. Notice how it kind of auto-fills for you. When you see that, you can just hit enter. Sousa. There it goes. I just had to type S and it showed up. Condition good. Yeah. Okay. Date is 2/16/25. You don't have to enter it like this. You can just enter 2/16/25 and it'll automatically format it the way you've got the cells formatted. And this is 100 and 150. Again, just enter the number. The cell's formatted to include the $sign. So you just enter the numbers. All right, that's done. Step 7 is done. 8. Got 5 more steps, 12 steps in this project. Number 8, we have some more string instruments than anything else. We want to summarize the string data. So go to the strings worksheet. And here we're going to insert subtotals. Okay. We want to subtotal all these things. First things first, you cannot use subtotals. And if you don't know what subtotals are, well, you learned that in the training. Remember, you cannot use subtotals in an Excel table. So if you click in here and you see that it is a table, and I remember this was on the certification exam, they didn't tell you it was a table. They just told you to insert subtotals. You know, I'm proctoring this. I see what all the students are doing. They're clicking in here, going to data, trying to find subtotals, and it's not there, right? Because it's an Excel table. You've got to first be in here, table design, click convert to range. This basically makes it not a table anymore. So click that. It asks you if you're sure. Now I notice it doesn't look all that different, but it is not a table anymore. So when I'm clicking in here, I don't have table tools. What's the big deal? Well, the table tools have a lot of functionality, like adding a total row and these nice filters and things. So tables are nice, but you can't do subtotals with a table. I need to go back. It's a table again. I just hit Control Z. I forgot this step. I forgot step 8A. First, we have to sort the table by instrument field in ascending order. I want to sort these in ascending order because right now it's C, G, V. That's already kind of sorted, isn't it? Sort the table by the instrument field in ascending order. Okay, well, maybe it wasn't this way, and I don't know. So sort A to Z just to make sure. Cello, guitar, guitar. Okay. Sort A to Z. Does it? I'm sorry. Yes, U does come before V. I learned my ABCs, I promise. Okay, so it's sorted in ascending order. We got a few violins, a few cellos, but I guess they don't want this another level of sort. So if they don't tell you to do it, just do what they say. Now, once it is sorted, we convert it to a range and we can add our subtotals. These need to be sorted because all Excel does, it's going to go cello, cello, oh, the instrument name changed. Stop. Put a subtotal of the price of cellos. Guitar, guitar. Oops, it changed. Go back, insert a subtotal for guitars. If you got a cello here and a cello there, you're going to get two different subtotals, one for this cello and one for that cello. It's going to be a big mess. So make sure these are sorted in order, alphabetically or whatever. So let's convert to range. Now we can insert our subtotals. Into the range B2 to G12, B2 to G12. We are including the headers. Don't worry, it's not going to put a subtotal for this row. It knows those are the headings. So I believe, if I remember, we go to data and we go to subtotals. There it is. Over under outline, click subtotal right there. And at each change in. So every time this changes to a new one, we want to go back and put a subtotal. You can do it based on manufacturer, but we're doing it based on instrument. We want to sum. What do we want to sum? It says we want to sum price and estimated value. We want to sum these, subtotal these columns. You can't subtotal these because you can't do math with words. So we want to subtotal those. If we already had subtotals in there, we would check this to delete them. I mean, there's none in there now. It doesn't hurt to leave it checked. Definitely not a page break because that would put each one on a different page. And this is not a huge table. And it doesn't say, but yes, we do want the summary below the data. So hit OK. So now we have a subtotal of our cellos. The total amount of cellos is 245, guitars 105, upright bass 980. I would want to have some lines here, but anyway, it didn't tell you to do that. So I guess we shouldn't do it or it'll mark you wrong. I'm just going to go down to my picture and just to make sure this looks good. Yeah, string instruments. I see these are bold, violin, grand. Make sure the numbers 1778, 3132 are correct. Just take a look. This looks to be the right color too. So I think we're in good shape with that one. Almost done. We're on step 9 now. Switch to the wind worksheet. Those are ugly data bars. It's covering up the numbers. I hope we're going to fix that. Remove the duplicate of the record based on the values in the instrument manufacturing condition columns. Okay. We have a duplicate record in here. It's possible that, Kaito, when they bought this instrument, what they buy? The duplicate, by the way, they're going to go ahead and tell you. Well, they don't anyway. But this has been recorded here twice. I guess Kaito put it in here. And then unbeknownst to Naomi, Naomi went in and added it also. So there's duplicates. So that's no good. We don't want duplicates. Obviously, this table is very short. I could just manually go through and see flute Susan needs repair, flute, 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 flute Wagner good. Oh, look at that. I can spot right away that flute Wagner good, flute Wagner good. That's the duplicate. So I could go in and it says the wrong one as 7-Eleven. I could go in and manually just right click and delete this column, but that's not what they want you to do. They want to use the functionality. Because what if there were like 800 of these? Would you want to go through manually and try to find the duplicates? Uh-uh. So what we're going to do is highlight, I guess, highlight the whole thing. It's fine. And that's under data. Under data tools, these are kind of hard to see. Remove duplicates. There we go. We click on it and select the columns that we want it to say, okay, if they're the same in all three columns, then delete. I mean, delete those rows. Instrument, manufacturing, condition. We don't want it to, it doesn't have, these don't have to be the same. But if these are the same for a particular instrument, then delete one. It doesn't say which one is going to delete. I hope it deletes the one on 7-Eleven. Let's just see. Okay. So it found one duplicate and removed it. So look at your picture. I'm just going to look at my picture because I'm nervous. I've got clarinet, flute recorder, piccolo recorder, bassoon, oboe, didgeridoo, clarinet, Yamamoto, excellent. Okay, it looks like I've done it right. And the flute, Wagner good is the right date. Okay, I think we are good on that one. Let's move on. The data bars in the last two columns make the numbers hard to read. I agree. Change the data bars conditional formatting to gradient fill orange data bar. This is where the instructions do not tell you everything. So I've been through it. I've looked at the solution, and let me just tell you what they want here. We're going to highlight the stuff that's got the data bars in it. And I think that's under conditional formatting. And you can just go under manage rules and it'll show you all the conditional formatting rules that you set up. We have this one, of course, you can see the pink data bars. You click on it so it turns dark and you do edit rule. Here's what they're not telling you. They want it to be gradient fill orange, not solid. So gradient fill. And they just say orange. There's lots of different shades of orange. That's orange accent 5. This is orange accent 5 lighter 80. It's not telling you exactly. I would go under standard colors and find the orange. It just says orange. So that's what I want. Now this, and make sure you have gradient. Now this is what they didn't tell you, but they do want the border. They want a solid border and they want that also orange. Because here's the deal. It had no border and I clicked OK and apply and OK. And I looked at it. I'm like, and I'm looking at the picture that they gave me. And these kind of have an outline to them, don't they? I guess I can make it bigger for you. You can really see it if you blow it up. These have like an outline around them. These don't. So I'm like, what's going on here? And then I discovered that you have to do, let's go back to manage rules, edit rule. They want you to pick a orange border, even though they didn't tell you to. So make the border orange as well. It'll give it, you got to click apply and then okay. That put the little orange border around it. So now, see how it's lighter here, but there's a border around it. That's what they want. So look out for that. Okay, we are on number 11. Almost done. Naomi wants to calculate the totals. Switch to all instruments. Is this a table? Yes, it is, because I clicked on it and it says table design. We want to create the following formulas. We want to count the number of instruments. Okay. Here? Wait a minute. Look at the picture. Look at the picture. Yes, they want it down there. That's a bit weird because all you need to do is just add a total column. Don't do this because this is not right. Do total row and you can select count. And it'll say there's 36 instruments. You know what I'm saying? But they don't want that, do they? They want it here for some weird reason. So we're going to use a counta function. If we use the count function, by the way, just the count function, and highlight our numbers, our things, close parentheses, it's going to give you 0 because the count function will only count cells that have numbers in them. And as you can see, these are words, so it will not give you anything. The count function, so equals count A. A stands for anything. It will count the cell if it's got anything in it. If you highlight them, don't include the header, obviously. That's not an instrument. Go up here and close the parentheses. Notice it's not saying like B3 through B whatever. It's just got because this is an Excel table and it references these as column names. It's literally counting the instruments. 36 is what you're supposed to see. In cell F40, it wants you to sum the prices. You can just go to your auto sum, click it. I don't want to sum that, I don't think. Let's go up here in the formula bar and change that 9 to an 8. So see, that's right. What I did earlier is somehow I accidentally deleted this number and I went to do my auto sum and I went to the solution and I noticed my number was wrong. This is supposed to be 4416 and that said 4316. I'm like, what is going on? But I noticed I accidentally fudged with my table. So if you do something bad, just Control Z a few times until it goes. There you go. And now we can do our formula. Let's make this 38 instead of 39. And then they also want to sum this column. Why reinvent the wheel, right? Just use your fill handle, drag across. 7998 is what it's supposed to be. Please tell me they want you to freeze the top column. That was 11 11 number 12. We want to include a sales date. Let's include the sales date. Add a table column to the end of the table. This is a bit weird. And maybe some of you can send me a message or something. I couldn't figure out how to do this to make it look the way they wanted it to look. So I'm going to have to do you a little solid here. See how wide that is? I guess they want it that width. And I don't want you to lose points. So they want it that width, I guess. And I don't know. I've clicked in the table. I don't see any options for insert column to the right. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe they told you this in the SAM training, which I haven't done. But how I add a column is I just go here and they told you they wanted it to be called column, I guess, and it will automatically bring it into the table color-wise and everything. But it's too thin, and so I went into the solution and I have just now forgotten what is the width it should be. I'm going to tell you. The column width needs to be 19. So I'm just going to make the width of this column 19. Okay, that's what it needs to be, I think. I mean, maybe it won't count off if it's like that, but maybe it will. Like I said, if you know a way to insert a column to the right any other way, please let me know. You can also, I guess, go here, right click, and do insert, and it will insert a column to the left. And it does, but that's not how it's supposed to look. So just type column here and make this 19. Okay. I wish we could freeze that because, you would just click here and do view freeze panes. And then as you scroll down, you're like, here, $90. What is it? Oh, it's the price. So, but if you don't freeze, oops, you don't freeze, can't see that, can you? Oh, wait a minute. Wasn't that clever? If you're in an Excel table and you scroll, it puts the column headings up here instead of the letters. I did not know that. They don't want any kind of fancy borders here, so don't go crazy. If you do extra stuff, I mean, that's what I would do, but if you do extra stuff, you're going to get marked off. So just stop there. I think we're done. Let me read to make sure. Yeah. Okay. I would just take one more look through the instructions, compare it to the pictures, make sure everything looks the way it's supposed to look. Sorry. Brass looks good. That's green, 965, 19415. Check your numbers. Make sure you haven't left anything out. 100, 150. Stringed instruments, subtotals look good. All instruments, check it out. Okay, that's all I have for you. So good luck with this. Let me know if you have any questions.